Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. We're here to improve our own lives and to set our days up for success. I know I've got a busy day today, and I'm sure you guys do as well. Happy Monday to you. It is the beginning of the work week for many people, and we are getting ready to just link arms with the folks that we are on teams with and get this life done. So, good morning. Good morning. We are here once again to say some good stuff about us. And as we do that, we are building into our own lives. So I'm very excited to be here with you. Good morning, Dan from Buford. Good morning, Jan. Good morning, April and Shauna. It is fantastic to see you guys today, as well as everybody else who is watching but has not yet left a comment. Do me a solid, leave a comment. I'll be happy to wish you a good morning in person. All right, guys. So here comes the fun. We are going to pull a card off the top of the deck. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. As we do that, we are building into our own lives. We are making our own experience something different, and I am very excited to do that with you. So let's have some fun today. Let's pull a card and say that today I am proactive. I am proactive. I take initiative and prepare for eventualities. So I am proactive. I take initiative and prepare for eventualities. Are you proactive? You are proactive. You take initiative and prepare for eventualities. And I'm going to write that down in the chat. I encourage you to do the same thing because as we do this, we are being proactive. So I am proactive. I take initiative and prepare for eventualities. Yes, indeed, I am proactive, and so are you. And so are the vast majority of the folks that I hang around with. Yeah, I'm glad you do, Shauna. We are proactive people. The fact is that as we go through life, there's everything in life has a price tag on it. Everything in life has an expiration date too. And as we go through this world, it's very important for us to make sure that we are consistently setting ourselves up in order to reap what we have sown. In fact, I chose this field that has been not necessarily newly sown, but maybe sown about a month ago, in order to represent that proactivity. Because in the same way that a farmer must sow their field at the proper time and in the proper way, a farmer must prepare the soil and till that land and make it acceptable to receive those seeds. So too are we in our own lives. We till up the soil of our minds. We till up the soil of our experience. We plant the seeds of our dreams. And as we do, we recognize that they are not going to grow instantly. No farmer puts a seed in the soil and then yells and screams at the plant to grow faster, but rather a farmer is very patient and waits for the proper time, and in the proper time reaps a harvest of 10, 100, or 1,000 times the seed that was sown. And so we are proactive. We take initiative and we prepare for eventualities. We recognize that the life that we are sowing, the dreams that we are sowing, that those things are an eventuality, that as we continue to prepare ourselves for them, that the type of care that they will require will become different. We are proactive because we till our own soil, because we prepare our own minds, we prepare our own psyches, we prepare our spaces for what is to come. We know that things are coming, we expect them to come, we expect that success. And as we receive it, and as it does show up, we are prepared for it. Being proactive means, first of all, that we have some idea of what is coming. It also means that we are taking action. It's right there in the word, active. The only way for us to be fully prepared is to take action. Because the things that are in our lives right now, those things are not yet prepared to receive the stuff that is coming. And so we must make sure that we act with faith to receive what is coming. The farmer builds the barn and they build the silo long before the grain comes. The farmer has a house for the tractor long before they have a tractor. Indeed, the preparations that a farmer or a gardener perhaps does to the land and to the ground. These preparations happen long before there is fruit, long before there are plants growing. And so it is in our lives. We need to make sure today that as we are going through our lives, that we are preparing our own ground, that we are creating a fertile environment for our dreams to grow in, for the things which are important for us to grow in. And as we do that, the better that we prepare it, the more success that we have the likelihood of experiencing. In the same way that if a farmer tills a rocky field or sows seed in hard and unplowed ground, that they can't expect to receive much, if any, of a harvest. But if they take the time and till the soil and fertilize the soil and water it good, and then they take the time to plant the seeds where they like to be planted, at the depth that they like to be planted, and should they be planting in the correct season, then they can fully expect to receive a harvest when the time is right. And so too do we need to make sure that we are in the correct season for the things that we're planting. I found in my own life that I can have whatever I want, but I can't necessarily have it all at the same time. So that I can live a million different dreams. I can live a million different lifetimes, and indeed I do. But not necessarily at the same time, that some goals are not necessarily compatible with each other. And yet I can have them all. I just need to make sure that I plant them in the right time. In the same way that a farmer has seeds that they sow at the late winter time, there's also seeds that they'll sow in fall or spring or summer in order to reap the crop that they are interested in reaping. Because there are crops that are reaped in all of the different seasons at all the different times. Depends what we're growing. And that's how it is in our lives too. What is it that we're growing? This card invites us to ask, what are the things that we are growing, and how do we prepare the ground to receive them? How do we prepare our lives to receive them? How do we prepare ourselves? And so, the fact is that as we are going through our days today, recognize that it's a Monday. And whether you work a full-time job or whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're retired and you're really kind of out of that whole game and consistently, the fact is that nevertheless, the people around you are, by and large, getting to their projects today. They're starting work in earnest on the things that are important to them, which means that it will be very easy for you to find other people who are moving in the same direction as you, because this is the time in the week when people start to move in the directions that they are working toward. Be that a direction of some kind of a job, some kind of a project, some kind of an entrepreneurial effort, it doesn't matter. What matters is that on Monday, this is when most people get back to it. They get back to focusing on those longer term visions, those longer term goals. And so as we get back to that as well, whether we're working for a salary or not, whether we are serving clients or not, and the fact is that we still have that ability to take that initiative, to decide what it is that's important to us, to move forward with it, and to prepare for the eventuality of our success. How many times have I had a dream that I never did prepare for the eventuality of my success, and therefore I didn't achieve the dream? I can tell you the truth, it's happened in my life way more often than I'd like to admit, because deep down inside, I didn't really have faith in my own ability to succeed at it. And so I didn't prepare for that success. And when I didn't prepare for that success, of course, the success itself was elusive to me. And in the end, I was just treading water. I'm sure that that's probably happened to you as well, when you didn't have full faith, full confidence in your ability to accomplish or execute the things which really light up your heart. I know that it's happened to me. I know that I've had many abortive attempts to start up something like the Wake Up Call, where I realized that I wanted to make sure that the people around me had a wonderful, inspired day, but I had no idea how to even begin. And I didn't prepare for it because I didn't think I would be successful. And so I had these attempts that were stilted and staggering at the beginning, where because of my own lack of faith, I never really gave it my all. Nowadays, when I believe that I have a vision that's worthy of pursuing, I give it my all. I make sure that I am very proactive, that I'm taking initiative, that I'm preparing for the eventuality of my success, and that you too can do the same thing. Take that initiative, take those risks, prepare yourself for the success that is coming. Prepare yourself for what you are going to learn along the way. In the end, it's not the success that we experience in life that really brings us the joy and fulfillment that we seek, but rather it is the person that we become along the way. When I think about who I am today versus who I was years ago, when I decided that I wanted to have something like the wake up call with Maui Paul, though I had no idea what it would look like. When I recognized that about myself, when I was doing the first halting steps, then then at that point, I recognized that I was not the kind of person who could achieve that. I wasn't sufficiently developed. It was I lacked the skills, I lacked the development, and that's okay, because those first attempts at doing this have given me, just like Jan says, the stories and the lessons. Exactly. The first attempts that we do at anything give us those valuable lessons. So many of you guys know I have a marketing company, and that I'm currently in the process of onboarding some beta test clients. And I had like on Friday of last week, I had a really powerful onboarding session that with a real client who was looking at our system for the first time. Most of the folks that we've worked with have been kind of a part of the development and understand a little bit about what's going on. But this was the first person who popped into our system with completely fresh eyes. And as they did, the questions that they asked made me realize that my onboarding process needed to be different. And because I would, it was in the doing it that completely changed the way that my approach was going to be. And so, as I recognized that, as I realized that, actually working with, somebody who had never seen my thing before, as I recognized what had to be different, I was taking notes, I was being proactive, I was taking that initiative. I was preparing for the eventuality of another 10, and then another 100, and then another 1,000 people seeing the thing that I've built for the very first time with fresh eyes, going into it confused, not knowing anything, and me making a plan to help them to know everything, to help them to get the full benefit, the full success. How cool that is. But I'll tell you the truth, until I actually worked with somebody else, then all of these insights, those insights, they didn't come to me. I had meditated on it for a very long time. I had thought about it. I had researched best practice, but ultimately it was in the doing that I received all of the benefit. It was in the, it was in that very first effort. I had done onboarding before, but I had done onboarding from people who understood the concept of what we were trying to accomplish. Indeed, what we are accomplishing, because as I look at the product that I've made, it's definitely an accomplishment. But the fact is that there's a big difference between thinking about doing things and doing things. A friend of mine named Cash, he says that you gotta get rid of the fixin'-tos. You're like, oh, I'm fixing to do this, I'm fixing to do that. Well, fixing to do things doesn't actually get them done. Thinking about doing things doesn't get them done. Researching about doing things doesn't get them done. And if I realized that I learned more in a 30-minute onboarding call than all of the research that I had done could have ever prepared me for. And of course, this 30-minute onboarding call with somebody who's friendly to me, who's friendly to my goals and the organization that I'm creating, who is friendly to that onboarding call was so much more useful. I think that I probably could have Googled about it 10 hours less, and been 10 hours more ahead on things that were more important if I had just contacted this guy prior and onboarded him prior and answered his questions prior. So I am proactive. I take initiative and prepare for eventualities. And you're proactive too. And so today, let's make sure that we take that initiative. Let's make sure that we prepare ourselves for the success that is coming. Let's expect it. Let's make sure that we're expecting it. One of my early spiritual mentors once said, he's like, what do you do when you pray? And I said, I guess you ask the divine when you pray. And he said, prayer is an expectation. He said, so when you pray, simply expect. When you expect, then that expectation itself is what empowers the prayer. And I thought about that, and I recognized that it applied so much more than just in a spiritual context. It applies in in a mental context, in the context of us actually accomplishing things. When we expect success, we will receive it. It might not look the way that we think it's going to look at the beginning, but it will be there. It will exist. When we expect that the efforts that we are putting forth are going to bear fruit, then we are inherently inclined to make or to put those to put forth our best. And when we put forth our best, that best that we are putting forth is what drives the success. So I am proactive, you are proactive as well, and we take initiative and prepare for eventualities. So let's see who came here today. Good morning, Dan and Janet. Good morning, April and Shauna. Good to see you guys here. Let's see here. There's a bunch of proactive people. Shauna says, I love this one. I am proactive. I'm glad you love this one, Shauna. And let's face it, you're a country girl. You I'm sure have seen plenty of plowed fields in your life. Let's see. Good morning, Armando. Nice to see that you came over here. We will be proactive this month. And I'm wondering what it is that you guys plan on being proactive about. Like, what are the things that are important for you right now to be taking initiative on? Where can you seize some leadership and some control over your own life right now in order to make your tomorrows better? What eventuality are you preparing for? And what eventuality are you preparing for that is a good eventuality? Because remember, faith and fear both ask us to believe in something that hasn't happened yet. And a farmer can sow a seed, or if a farmer sows their field with the idea that their crops are going to fail, then they're not going to sow their whole field. But if they sow their field with the idea that their crops are going to succeed, that they're giving their crops every possibility of success, then they are going to approach the work with a different attitude. And so too will we. Let's see. All right, guys. So Janet says, those first attempts gave me these stories and the lessons that led to this. And that's a fact. We have to continue doing it. We have to continue working at it no matter what. And whatever it is that's important to us, we need to make sure that we are consistently putting effort toward that. Because as we do, we are going to learn these lessons. We are going to learn this stuff that we otherwise wouldn't have known, that no book can teach us. The lessons that I've learned in life have, by and large, come from the experience of doing something and saying, wow, that worked great. I'm going to do that again. Or that didn't work very well at all, and I'm not going to do that again. And, when I look back at it, when I was proactive, when I truly expected success, when I expected that I was going to succeed, then that success found me. It didn't always look the way I thought it would, but it did always show up. And so I encourage you, if you are working on something right now that's bigger than yourself, if you're working on something that you're not entirely sure how it's going to turn out, then just be aware that the success that you expect is coming to you. So make sure that you stay in that or out of that mental trap of thinking that you can't do something even as you're working on doing it. Everything is figure outable. Somebody else has already figured it out, and you can too. And once you do figure it out, it's going to seem effortless. The work that I'm doing right now on the marketing agency that I'm working with is work that 6 months ago I wouldn't have dreamed I could not have accomplished it. And now I'm just knocking it out. And why? Why is that? There's nothing but a little bit of effort, a little bit of dedication, a little bit of focus on what was truly important to me. So I am proactive today. You are proactive too. Let's take initiative on the things that are most important to us, and let's prepare for the eventuality of our ultimate harvest. All right, my friends, I will return tomorrow at 9 a.m. We will have another one of these. Until then, happy Monday to you. Good morning. I will talk to you tomorrow. This is just your daily reminder that I love you and that I care about you, that I believe that you are capable of achieving the big things, the big goals, and the big dreams that you have inside of your heart, that the stuff you've been working on is going to come through, that your ship will come in. And that when it does, the success that you receive and that you experience is going to be something that it comes in such abundance that you're going to wonder where on earth it was when you were looking for it. I'm telling you, my friends, this is exactly how it works. This is how it's always worked for me, and this is all. And if you look at your own life, this is how it's worked for you as well. So let's be proactive. Let's take initiative, and let's prepare for the eventuality of our ultimate success. All right, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, once again, I love you. I care about you. I think you're amazing. Aloha from paradise.